There we go, full and live, all messages out. Welcome very much everyone for joining this evening. Another episode of, well, another stream, not episode, of Bootleg Identify. Joining me tonight is the fourth and final of my players joining me to co-host the review stream, Loni. Yeah. Let's see, and if she's a bit louder than me or too soft for me, to let me know. Because to do Discord, I do have to just everything my headphones hear share it to the stream, so it's kind of hard to check without just massive echo buildup. But yeah, we're doing a bunch of just gift ideas for your players, your TM, add a character. But I'm sure you've seen at least one of the other streams, Loni, and how I always start with something just don't give you any prep for. And for you, I thought I'd ask what sort of items, like custom items or just DMs like here, something for your character, do you prefer? Because there's like just something that builds onto a feature your character already has, or something like gives a completely new feature, or it's like my I'm sorry, could you try speaking again? For some reason it looked like the audio didn't work for you. That's... Well, I can hear you, but it's not popping up on stream. That is annoying, but at least catching it early is better than nothing. Maybe it's just OBS, so I'm gonna just pause my stream and unfortunately listen to see. Again, I wish I could take the, shoot, what is it? I'm playing, I wish I could claim that I made that from scratch, but it was a custom from that same Fairy Fire supplement? Yeah. Where all the, like, neon 70s inspired stuff. Let's see. Okay, I think I got the audio fixed. Go and try again.
Okay, as I was saying, I liked the Brambleheart shield I just got because it gave me new features. It lets me grapple people and do damage, and I'm looking forward to using that, even though my character is definitely not built to be a grappler.
Okay, yeah, finally getting some levels there. I guess it's just something with OBS, but yeah, that for everyone who hasn't heard me toot the horn enough, it's like Fairy Fire supplement, very fun, great items, great one shot. Let's see, that was the prize from the time loop murder mystery that you and Beck kind of took the helm of a lot of the stuff happening, like actually doing rolls for the shit.
Yeah.
You guys had
I don't feel like I did a lot. I think Beck did a lot.
I mean, of course Beck did a lot, because she's built to be an investigator.
But she was built for it, so
yeah.
I don't feel too bad.
Yeah, it's, you guys picked up on it a lot quicker than I expected. I thought I was going to have to do with you guys play through, like, the first loop completely blind to what was going to happen. But then the one little hint of this guy maybe recognizing you, and Beck is like, do I recognize him back? And it's like, fuck yes, we can start on loop number 2. Just
yeah, she caught it super fast.
Yeah.
And it was something I barely paid attention to. So I wouldn't have caught it without Beck.
Yeah, but like, Beck and Michael are the two players who ask questions that make me go, well, they're catching on a lot quicker than I expected, but yeah, it works out. But yeah, I also agree it's items, like, as a player, that give new features, so long as it's not something like, let's see, something that gives a new type of spell, that's cool. But something that makes it so you can't cast spells on the same turn you're a spellcaster, that hurts. It's the small balance of just not being so your player's other cool features just don't get used. But yeah, going on from that, the first item for tonight, which I kind of add as a potential inspiration for Christmas one-shots, a very old post. Apparently I'd saved it like 3 years ago from this Reddit user Hobgoblin with zeros and ones replacing O's and I's. And he's apparently been deleted. Thankfully I was able to find it because there's still a home brewery like link to it, but it took so long because that's the hardest thing to search for. But yeah, it's pretty much giant arcane focuses that are a location, which I actually brought up with you guys in the first campaign.
Yeah, that's when I first read this. That's the first thing that popped into my mind was you did that with Luci and the library.
Yep, Luci in the library, and there's also a one-shot. I think there's a week where it's like, I'm not quite ready for the story to continue, but how about this exploratory one-shot that'll affect the final battle? And you guys were investigating the Sleeping Beauty Castle in Germany.
Oh, yeah.
Narrowing down which of these various legendary focuses, and one I think I made up for paladins, so you could figure out which of the NPC friends you had could come and take care of it for you.
I remember it was set up for wizards because we gave it to the four NPCs that we played in the one shot.
Oh, yeah, the Brain Trust.
The Brain Trust, yeah. And it was an arcane eye that let them see what was going on all over the battlefield.
Mm-hmm. And that was actually this first one here, the Observatory. I'll just zoom in for the actual people on the stream. All of these are gargantuan size, of course, because they're locations. I think they're all legendary as well. But it says here, atop a mountain or great tower sits the Observatory. From this vantage, a powerful mage can watch and act from afar. When tuned, you can cast Conzerate's Arcane Eye at will, which I think might be like the original Arcane Eye appeared like, what, 2nd, 3rd edition or something? This form, the Arcane Eye spell, does not require concentration, and any other spell can be cast from the eye as if you were in its position, which the Brain Trust made great use of, just swapping out as the battle went on. So just, hey, here's a new fresh wizard to come help support the entire battlefield as needed. I believe even one of them, like, I decided with a coin flip if they were able to see the false, who was it? Oh, right, the cleric that you and Beck actually met in, like, the first session.
Chaplain!
The chaplain, who never gave his first name. He went by his rank when he was in the military of just a chaplain. Turned out he was being kind of bribed by the big bad Lycaon to just help all the souls of his former comrades move on. Yeah, the Brain Trust, with the use of the Observatory, were able to see, it's like, no, it's like they kind of shoved, who was it, Derek, the wizard's duplicate, into this, what is that, prismatic wall, I think it is?
Yeah.
It's the 7 layers, and it just, Observatory, very fun, though it's a bit powerful, but again, this easily can be flavored for it's like Santa's Sanctum or something. Maybe someone trying to take it over, because, I mean, he sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. You know, they all can kind of fit for whatever lore your players' worlds are involved in. Like, I'm pretty milquetoast. My setting is largely the real world, but here's some changes. I think one of the other fun ones is the throne, because that's the one for sorcerers, where it's just additional effects of all the meta magic.
Yeah, I was a little confused on this one. Do they just get more, like, meta magic options?
Let's see. It just adds on to what each meta magic does.
Oh, okay. I misread it, I think.
Let's see. Finding the focal point of ancient arcane significance is a large ruined chair. So it's also not just like the location, it's the chair in particular you have to attune to. The throne's presence captivates all in the space, with a detect magic revealing a dangerous flux of raw magic around the throne itself. Sitting on the throne deals 5d12 force damage to any creature that is not a sorcerer, which is hefty with a DC 20 save that is specific to your spellcasting modifier. So, you know, you got a chance, but it's not a great chance.
I can't think of a single character I've played who wouldn't sit in the throne.
Exactly, especially if you're told it's like, attuned to this, power beyond imagination.
Yeah.
Let's see. When tuned, don't need a sleepy drink. Well, you have these hit points. Concentration can't be broken by taking damage, which is very useful, even though it's stuck in one spot. But yeah, it looks like just you get extra options or abilities on top of each meta magic, like distance spell.
That's how I read it.
I think it's that normally distance spell doesn't normally affect a range of touch. The multiplied by 10 instead of doubled, very powerful. Though I think the best is just the quicken spells. You can just cast a second spell in your turn. No, it's your bonus action. Any second spell you want. Also, I'm suddenly regretting not having put my custom edition on here to show anyone interested, but I've got Discord for that. I'll just make it up there or something. But let's see. I think other than that wizard one with the whole easy Santa one shot with the arcane eyes, the second best is probably the organ, which requires attunement by a bard. So what is the second last, just before the druid? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one I kind of took some inspiration for the one Luci has in, well, the Morningstar Archives and the whole stained glass. Let's see, overlooking a great city and its outskirts, this pipe organ stands quietly in times of peace. However, in times of war, the city counts it as valuable as her walls, for it is the pinnacle of bardish magic. When attuned to the organ playing it, you can use your action to choose any number of creatures who can hear you, the organ being audible for 5 miles. These creatures gain 1d4 temporary hit points, not a lot. Pretty much bless for a round at a time, but still an army with bless once per turn. Let's see. And then using your bardic inspiration die and place the d4, you expend. Oh, wait. Okay, sorry, it's just worded weirdly coming off the last one, but you can use your bardic inspiration to just, instead of a d4, do a what? D12? Is that the highest bards get?
I don't know. I've never played a bard. Well, I've played a bard once, but I really quickly multi-classed her into sorcerer, so I don't know anything about bards.
Very fair. I mean, those two just go too well together. I think the only one better is warlock. But I'll actually look that up pretty quick, because that is actually a very important thing. Let's see, bardic inspiration. Yeah, D12 is the highest they get. So just imagine an entire city. Everyone gets a D12 for an attack every turn. You use your bardic inspiration to do that. It's like, why wouldn't you? Let's see. And here's the bit I kind of reflavored for Freyford as Luci's haunt. The organ has it as you can communicate telepathically with any creature that you've met who can hear the organ. These creatures are valid targets for any bard spell that lets you choose a creature. I did it as instead a kind of comprehend languages for everyone who is in Freyford to ensure easy trade or study. Well, not too easy study, because it only does it verbally, but still. Thus, so anyone can come in and speak, knowing they'll be understood, but also there are no secrets if you try to say something in a different language to not be overheard. Yeah, I definitely recommend Hobgoblins, which hopefully with the username other people can find it as easily as I did. Because like I said, the homebrewery is still there, for the link at least. Going on from there is actually a gift idea for DMs, which unfortunately it's a pay-for product, so I can't really show anything, but they are very good. Shit, where's the window I did? There it is. It's Jerry Joe Seltzer, who has a lot of let's see, randomizer tables, or like this one, random encounters, which there are actually 2 volumes you can pick up, but they all have like, not a glossary, not items either, icons to say where or what takes place here. Like if it involves a merchant, there's something that looks like an abacus. In forest or wooded areas, it's got a little tree, or in mountains, it's got mountains, and etc. So a DM could look through these and go, it's like, okay, what areas are they going to be in? Because I have nothing planned, but want to give them, something to enjoy. I personally, let's see, this is volume 2? No, Travel Encounters volume 1. There's an encounter known as the only game in town. Let's see, description for this is there's only one merchant in the town who sells what the party is after. Unfortunately, he's addicted to high-stakes games of chance. It's simple, it's to the point, and it can be easily customized for whatever your party is looking for. It even has some small rules for how to run this gambling bit. Let's see, he didn't sells precisely. They ask about pricing, he'll tell them what he thinks it's worth, but he won't just trade coins for goods. He is addicted to the thrill of the game. How he'll start to negotiate, but for the PCs to get the actual price they want, they're going to have to beat him in the choice of 4 games, of which he's proficient in all. The just dice, dragon chess, 3 dragon ante, or normal cards. And I think, for random encounters, it's a very good way to do it. Because it's going to be impossible to set up for every, not perpetual, anything that could happen for every group. But separating by location. Oh, yep.
I liked that in this one he gets advantage to detect cheating, because they're going to cheat.
Oh, absolutely. They'd be fools not to. And, because he's just so addicted to gambling, of course he's got an eye out for it. I also really like the kind of squinty-eyed look of the character art.
Yeah.
It's like, it's got real character to him. And, any DM who doesn't want to look up a token for it, it's like, there you go. Smart to use for this, gambling-addicted merchant. But yeah, I believe I sent both of these to you. Did you look through and see anything in particular that jumped out as fun?
I only looked through volume 1, and that was the main thing I saw. I thought that one was really funny.
Yeah, it is. And let's see, for all the combat-oriented ones, which is a good chunk of them, it does also have separate, CR things. I'll just, for the first one, Mind the Gap in volume 1. the different CRs is just how many of the stat block that they include for a kobold, which I think isn't quite... I think it's got a few changes in the stats from a typical kobold. But it's like CR5 is 30 of them, with a CR1 encounter only being 6. So it still also has the customizability for whatever tier the players are in.
I liked the colors because it made it easy to spot where you were going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do very good on that as well. They so they stand out from the background art that they do, which is also, it's not super pretty, but it's filled with character. Yeah, I can't speak for every DM, but having easy encounters that don't have to be involved with the plot, it's a very simple gift. And each volume, I believe, comes in under $10 if you just get the PDF, which, personally, much easier to search through than a bunch of bookmarks in a physical tome. So, unless you had any other comments you wanted to make on that, I can go on to the next item.
No, I'm good. Let's go on to, I think it's perpetual charcoal?
Yes. And also today I saw that the person did an additional spell on a Reddit called Endless Embers with a similar tinge. But yeah, I confirmed with people in my Discord, link below, just typical Christmas gifts to try and find an equivalent homebrew for, and someone said coal. And this spell, Perpetual Charcoal, is pretty much a reflavoring of... what's the other... Eternal Flame? Or Continual Flame? Yeah, Continual. Except, while Continual Flame is a non-burning torch that still provides light, Perpetual Charcoal, on the other hand, is not about light, but giving off perpetual heat. It's a very fun spell in that regard.
I could really use this in Icewind Dale.
Oh yeah. Anything that... a bunch of ice hazards, that would be great, I'm sure. But let's see, mechanically, I think it's the same. Instead of... I think it's ruby dust for Perpetual Flame. This one's only 50 gold worth of dry wood. Still consumed, but perpetual heat source, flavor-wise, very fun for a chef character. And just as a joke, it's like, here's a scroll of perpetual charcoal for whatever bad or evil PCs are in the group. But moving up to the Endless Embers, which is a 3rd level conjuration spell they made. It summons a hearth, oven, or forge, or something that uses fire or heat to work. And just for the 24 hours that this spell lasts, it doesn't need any additional fuel to run. Again, great flavor-based spell. This one more for, again, chefs, but also blacksmith and other crafter types. Let's see, I don't think any of you guys have ever played a kind of chef-esque character in the campaigns with me, at least.
No, I try to avoid actual things I have to do in real life.
Right, that's why we always just fade to black when someone uses the restroom. Got it. I already know how that goes. I do it all the time at work instead of working. But yeah, for these 2 spells, big thank you to UndyingMonstrosity, because it's really easy to make a spell that's overpowered, but something that supports role-playing and pretty much any of the supplies or toolkits that don't get a lot of use in major campaigns or modules. It's very refreshing to see. But then, speaking of refreshing, the first of the stocking stuffers, 2 pieces of chocolate, which I've just combined to the same visual thing. We've got the Halfling Chocolate Coins by Catilus, and the Blood Chocolates by DailyDungeoneer. Let's see, are these some of the items you got a chance to look at, or?
Yeah, I basically stopped right around number 7 or 8.
Also, most of the way. Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, before I get into the description of these, any opinions on the blood chocolates?
Okay, it sounds so gross.
Yeah, I mean, it does, yeah. But it's like, I add them because I didn't have chocolate coins in Christmas stockings, but I had were the cheap little Ghirardelli squares that you get like a huge pack of.
Yes.
And I thought, it's like, yeah, this is good. It's a slightly better, let's see, 10 hit points. Yeah, so slightly better cure wounds or basic healing potion. With the little downside of just vulnerable to radiant damage for 20 minutes, which isn't too bad.
I did like the artwork, though. I thought it was really good.
But yeah, the kind of, I almost said dragon, but bat-like silhouette.
Yeah.
It's the other chocolate item being the halfling chocolate coins, which come in gold or platinum. Let's see, crafted by master halfling chefs, these beautiful minted coins are prized by adventurers, coin collectors, and gourmands who realize their true value. A halfling chocolate coin looks, weighs, and feels like a regular coin in mint condition, with depictions of halfling heroes on one side and farm animals on the other. However, when placed in a creature's mouth, it melts into delicious and magically nourishing chocolate. The coin emits a faint aura of transmutation magic if detected by Detect Magic, but an identify spell reveals its true nature. I mean, halfling is like the go-to food race, right? They're the big chefs.
Yes.
Yeah, we can thank Tolkien and the Hobbits for that. The big actually no, it wasn't the Hobbit. Yeah.
Yeah.
With Bilbo just hosting a bunch of dwarves dancing around.
Yep.
Let's see. Two varieties of halfling chocolate coins exist. The gold tastes like milk chocolate, provides enough nourishment to sustain a medium-sized creature for 1 day, while platinum is white chocolate and lasts for 10 days, which it's a little bit crazy, but also it's just, who cares? It's a fun item. Especially because they're depicted with a nice little sheep on it. And then the fact that they never go bad, but if they're broken, crushed, or otherwise melted, they just turn into delicious fondue for some reason. So it's like, here, let me just snap this coin in half, and it's melted. Let's see. The other stocking stuffer type items I have comes from 1985 Games, which is actually a publisher. They've got a few, well, more than a few. They've got a lot of modules and full-on adventure paths. But one of their free products is just 2 pages of very interesting items. In particular, I like the Painter's Sun hat, because it makes me think of Sophie's hat in Howl's Moving Castle.
I liked the baffled candle because it made me laugh.
Oh yeah. See, baffled candle, this odd little trinket doesn't quite understand its job. While this candle is lit, a creature holding it becomes invisible. The candle can burn for a number of minutes, which maxes out at 7. But once a candle fully burns down, the item's destroyed. I especially like that it doesn't make it clear if the candle becomes invisible too, or if it just
Yeah,
becomes a
I
floating
don't think
candle.
it does. I think it's just a floating candle while someone's holding it.
Which is still great, and also another great story seed or rumor of just someone who's up to no good. It's like rumors of the floating candles, poltergeist, but no, it's just some dude with this invisible candle. Let's see, the sensor of arguing spirits, which can work for what is that, Bob Marley from... shit, I'm blanking on all the terms I actually had written down, just lost. The classic Christmas story with Bob Cratchit and Scrooge.
Christmas Carol?
Christmas Carol, that's it. I wasn't entirely sure because I knew the Muppet Christmas Carol was a version of, but couldn't remember if it was just Christmas Carol. But let's see. Tarnished dented censer appears to be an unimportant mundane item with sloshing sounds that can be heard from within the pot when shaken and always feels slightly worn. And when the lid's removed, 3 tendrils of colored smoke rise from it. The ends of them form from the heads of 3 old men. It's like this. It's perfect Christmas Carol right there. All I just need to do is add some chains to have them preach against capitalism, which, you know, we need less of. Let's see. Coin's Edge, which unfortunately does not get an image. But this magical coin has a symbol of a dagger on it. And when it flew through the air, it turns into a normal dagger. It's pretty much just a dagger version of I think it's a sword cane that starts the cane turns into a sword. But you know, very flavorful. Probably wouldn't be too bad as a common magic item that flips back and forth. Very fun for a rogue.
But it doesn't go back. It can't be turned back into a coin.
Normally, yeah, but I'm saying it's common. Well, maybe make it like uncommon or rare, but it's not like massively breaking the game. Like,
well, you kind of already did that with Val's quill that turns into a rapier.
Yeah, but also like anyone with like serious security is gonna have some detect magic or something. It's like, why you got a magic quill there, lady? It's also why I have that exotic item, the belt sword. Because it's completely mundane, it's just a sword hidden in a belt. Yeah. Onto the favorite item I pointed out, the Painter's Sun Hat. This well-made hat can come in any shape, size, or form. From casual inspection, it seems to be mundane. However, when the hat is placed on the ground, command word is spoken, it begins to float into the air. The hovering hat then produces an illusion of a humanoid you're familiar with. This illusion is a spitting image of the real-life counterpart, with the caveat being that the illusion is also wearing the hat. So, you can't do just anyone. It's like, here's the general, the king's militia, and a very fancy sun hat he's wearing today. Let's see. The figure can't move, and fails to meet physical inspection, because illusion, but stays active until the hat is moved out of place, or the command word is spoken again, with only a DC 15 investigation check to reveal it's an illusion. Ability aside, very Sophie-esque hat, especially with the appearing mundane at first. Let's see, the second page, another 4 items, the Corrupted Pendant, which is, I think it's the only rare on the 2 pages here. Finely crafted gemstone pendant has a dark corruption sealed within. Wearing it gives you the oddest desire to visit the ocean. When attuned, you can spend action to heal yourself for a third of your max HP, and all weapon attacks made by you to the end of your next turn deal another 1d6 in necrotic. But using the corrupted pendant in this way causes an unnatural rush that drains your body and stops you from resting normally. Once used, you cannot take a short rest till the next dawn. Then to utilize the pendant again, you have to spend an hour performing a ritual, requiring 50 golds of incense and incense infused with seawater, and only once per 24 hours, which is fine for balance. I mean, you have to wait till the next dawn to reactivate it anyway. Yeah, how do you feel about a 1/3 your HP in healing?
It's a pretty powerful item, especially that extra D6.
I mean, it's only for 1 turn, but it's very effective on a fighter.
Yeah.
See, the one thing I don't like is... Wait a second. Okay, until the end of your next turn. Okay, I was about to say, wait, it's an action to use, but how do you get to make attacks? But yeah, I think the most powerful thing for this is just the fact, I mean, it can be recharged, so it might be worthy of very rare, because having a 50 gold incense, it's not too hard to get, unless your DM specifically makes it hard to get. Let's see, then kind of going with similar sea theme, the Fisherman's Spear. This well-crafted spear has a worn oak haft that magically springs forward. Oh. Oh, hey, Epicloud. Sorry, I didn't see your first message. Sorry. Yeah, it does look like it's the attack on the next turn. But yeah, still very effective with a fighter and the action surge. But yeah, the spear, forward difficult spear. As part of a melee attack, you can extend the length of a spear. Pretty much give yourself just free reach. Let's see, for every 5 feet you extend it, you reduce the attack bonus by 2, which I think is enough to keep it at common rarity. So there's a very hard limit to how many bonus you can give yourself just to counteract the negative bonus of aiming at 15 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet away. But it'd be funny if it hit. See, I think Penny would have really fucked shit up if she had a Fisherman's Spear.
I was doing the math on how far I could do it on Penny. I think I could do 25 feet and not go negative.
Ooh, yeah, you had a bunch of stuff. And that's probably without getting into, like, freaking Derek the Wizard who has Cleric spell access. It's like, here's a bless. Yeah, it's definitely a give to your players with respect to their classes. A pure martial would really fuck shit up, especially barbarian would really kill with that. It's like, yes, I'm gonna just recklessly attack with all of my attacks on this, thank you. Let's see, next is the Sky Pepper, an uncommon wondrous item. Let's see, this mundane looking pepper causes an odd effect when eaten. After consuming this pepper, all attempts to lie are increasingly more difficult, as its spicy burn grows with each tall tale. Pretty much just grants disadvantage for each deception check within 10 minutes or until you wash your mouth out. I think a lot of RP potential for that. Both if the players get access to that and a kitchen. Just so we're going to question some guys. We're also just having it snuck into their food. I would probably recommend you guys try not to eat Nucrease, because I may be tempted to use Sky Pepper.
I will try to remember that, but I will forget.
I mean, that's why I'm okay with sharing it, because you guys forget very obvious info sometimes, much to my chagrin. Let's see, last of the stocking stuffer items from 1985 games is the Splinter Bow. This magical bow splits its arrows as you fire, allowing you to target 2 creatures within 10 feet. Oh yeah, it's like, go nuts with it. Epiglottal. I think Sky Pepper is going to be fun for any table. But yeah, the Splinter Bow, when you attack 2 targets using the bow like this, you roll to attack only once, but apply the result to both targets. So if more than one creature is successfully hit, roll damage normally, then split it into 2. Which, from that wording, makes me think if only one gets hit, they take the full damage?
That's what I think. But I think in order for it to work the way it does, you have to split it in 2 no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think it's too bad. I mean, it's a very minimal... Like, there are more powerful, uncommon enchantments for a bow, for sure. And you're still only rolling the attack once, so it's like, maybe it just didn't split in time to hit the second guy, you know? Oh, Epicloud, you have a cook and a poisoner? Oh, Sky Pepper would be so fun with that group. I hope to hear stories about it, in fact. But let's see, that would be the end of the very stocking stuffer items. Next is standing in for the phone, the Palm Pilot, which is actually something I made for my first campaign with Loni and the other Modern World of Magic crew. I don't think I've talked about New Greece on any of my streams.
I've not heard.
I think I've mentioned like some of the things you guys have done, but not like the city in depth. But yeah, New Greece is a city I made up for the Feywild. It is actually not native to the Feywild, taking some inspiration from Matt Mercer. It's a city that transported itself there. Though it did so because it sensed way back when the history of my campaign, when magic used to be in the prime material, and something just sucked it all away. They're like, we want to keep this. It's very helpful for all our crafting. So they went to another plane entirely. But yeah, instead of sending stones, they have the Palm Pilot, a tiny construct that kind of looks like those little art mannequins. Could be all dressed up or even custom made to look like people.
We custom made ours to look like Iron Man.
Yeah, you had an Iron Man, and then also one, I think it was a specific prophet from the Old Testament, which you sent over to Derek's like very religious fanatic mom.
I don't remember that.
I think the details of that happened on a session you weren't there, but I know it was used to kind of tempt them closer to the New Greece portal and get them involved with the quote-unquote police.
Because that didn't backfire at all.
That was great and inventive, and I did not expect it from you guys, but it was so fun. It's like, yeah, we're going to send her a little mechanical prophet to try and get them arrested. And it succeeded, because she's unhinged. But yeah, it's not a super powerful thing, because it's challenge rating 0. It has no attacks. The only action it has is just 2 dash. And it can dodge as a reaction. But let's see, I made it Palm Pilot's able to gain benefits of dodge until the start of the next turn. But after using this reaction, they cannot use it again until they've spent a turn without dashing. So it's pretty much, it gets them to off-kilter, to like focused on just staying uncaught, that they've got to slow down a bit to kind of regain their bearings. They've got this feature of acrobatic, so each turn as part of their movement they can use up to 15 feet to long jump an equal distance. So pretty much a mini jump spell, but they're still limited by their overall movement, which is only 20 feet. But in a city that is as packed as New Greece, a nice, thriving steampunk metropolis, with, I think it's 3 vertical sections of the city, each one about 5 or 6 floors high. They have not steamships, so they do have like hover bikes, which are steam powered, because I love that shit. The Victorian era without the slavery or racism for the most part. But yeah, because they're constructs, you can't poison them, you can't charm, exhaust, or frighten them. It's pretty much just meant to be animal messenger, without having to have an animal on hand who trusts you enough to send a message. Also, if someone you want to speak to also has a Palm Pilot, you guys can just each use the message cantrip to speak to each other, with the fun flavor that the Palm Pilot speaks in the other person's voice. Sadly, you guys didn't get to really have fun with that in the first campaign. It was more just sending the fake Jehovah to Derek's mom.
Well, we also had the Iron Man. We used him to talk to the mayor a little.
Yeah, a little. And I think that was also like part of your payment for helping them out.
I think so. It's fuzzy.
Yeah, if not Iron Man, definitely the Jehovah one. Because that was part of the plan to retrieve the city's keys which kind of control the interplanar gates that let people in and out from the prime material. And something that will really come up in Campaign 3 when you guys get to space. Because as you might recall, because it has been a while, the last session of Campaign 1, a couple days after the big event, the big battle in Germany, New Greece just disappeared from Texas.
I did not remember that.
Yeah, that's you guys gave them the keys, but you also had to deal with access to the underground forges that Andre was using. So they said, we will wait until that deal is run out before scampering off, so, you know, the bunch of fucking elf racists can't come in anymore. God, I think I'm gonna have to do a stream just talking about New Greece. Because you guys affected, like, 50, maybe 60% of the, like, backstory for that. Because I didn't have much. It was just fun steampunk city of crafters. And you guys asked questions like, oh shit, I actually need answers to these guys. And it became these people oppressed by a military force wanting help to overthrow them. Yeah, Palm Pilot, the stand-in for phone. Not too powerful because they can't attack, so it's like easily added to your campaign. Maybe they're like mini warforges or something. They shouldn't affect the world too much. Let's see, next, the other big item a lot of Christmas things get, toy guns. BB guns, maybe not squirt guns because it's winter, but Nerf guns. And I actually have two, both by Loot Tavern. There's the Hyper Soaker and the Shotgum. We're going to start with the Hyper Soaker because it's only an uncommon rating. Let's see, alright, and for those not in the know with Loot Tavern, a bunch of their items, it says components for crafting your own. The Hyper Soaker has the Kraken's beak, their various edible animal series. Let's see, don't let the name fool you. This strange contraption is not a mere child's toy, but a powerful weapon capable of discharging jets of water at high enough pressure to cut through pure steel. And all it requires in return is for you to give up a tiny smidge of your own vitality. What a deal. This weapon doesn't require normal ammunition. Instead of bullets that deal the weapon's normal damage, it just shoots blasts of water that deals bludgeoning. Whenever you reload, you just take 1 necrotic damage that can't be reduced or prevented, because that would be too OP if you could, as the gun just drains some of your body's moisture to refill itself. The special action, I suppose you would say, would be the Pressure Cutter. Instead of an attack, it's an actionable holding weapon to shoot a thin jet of water in a 100-foot line that is 5 feet wide. So almost on par with, I think, Lightning Bolt is 120? Or is it only 60?
I'm not sure.
I know it's probably one of the longest range attacks without being a cone, but 100 feet, 5 feet wide.
Yeah, it's 100 feet and 5 feet for Lightning Bolt.
Okay, so it's exactly on par, but it's not a spell. It's a DC 13 dexterity, so it doesn't scale, unfortunately, but 46 piercing. And damage on a failure, half on a success, and objects in the line also take this damage. Let's see, creatures don't benefit from cover thinner than 2 feet as well, as the jet of water just pierces straight through it. And the only thing that kind of reins this in is you can only use it once per day, recharging at dawn. But you know, for a squirt gun, that's pretty funny. Then in comparison, the very rare Shotgum, which is just a gum machine attached to a double-barrel shotgun. And I think if I had this ready before Aiden got the enchantment on his it's a shotgun with kickback now, he probably would have wanted this. It's like similar to the last one, needing a cracker kraken beak. This requires the heart of a pepper oni. See, Shotgum sounds like something you should be in, and yeah, it does kind of sound like an Enter the Gungeon item. God, I still need to get that, but later. So yeah, dropping out of most barrels with all the impetus of a lethargic snail, Umite gumballs are far too heavy to be used as ammunition by regular Magitech firearms. To fix this issue, a Shotgun's special firing mechanism combines a little powdered fiend heart and a lot of gunpowder, shooting each projectile out with the explosive force of a cannonball. The first feature, the gumballs. This weapon deals bludgeoning damage instead of normal damage type and deals an extra 1d4 bludgeoning to each target it hits. And instead of bullets, it uses the Umite gumballs as ammunition. Gumballs can be purchased from stores in for the same price as bullets, and when you hit a creature with an attack, you can choose for the gumball to stick to that creature until it or another creature in reach uses an action to get rid of it. So yeah, very annoying for any melee characters getting hit by this all the time. It's like, oh, you want to attack? Too bad you're stuck over there. Let's see, the other feature it has is simply named Up, but as a bonus action, while holding this weapon, you can speak its command word, causing each gumball attached to a creature within 60 feet to inflate into a bubble. Each medium or smaller creature with at least 2 gumballs attached must succeed a DC 16 strength save, or they just start levitating as per the levitate spell, but with no concentration. But let's see, for each size of category above medium, it's an additional gumball to be affected, which is fair. Get at least 3 turns to start setting up. No, wait, Trask is huge, isn't it? So 4 turns. Or an entire team of people with shotguns. But the bubbles each last for a minute before deflating, in which case they end the effect and fall off the creature, which I assume similar to levitate. I think they float gently to the ground, so it's not just, hey, here's some easy fall damage. Let's see. Then similar to the water gun, once used, can't be used until the next dawn, which very fair if you manage to get an entire ambush just floating off into space. So yeah, between the two, which one would you prefer using, Loni?
I really like the gum. I could see my rogue that I play in Icewind Dale using that a lot.
Oh, that would be great. I assume they have other ranged options too, so they can just pick them off in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shotgun is fun. I would definitely have more fun with the Hyper Soaker myself. It's not a lot, but being able to refill with just necrotic damage, it's not bad, because it doesn't say it requires your bonus action to recharge like that. But yeah, moving on from the gun type items, next is the classic scarf or coat, which is really going to stand out with the item I chose. See, so there's this person on the Unearthed Arcana subreddit. Once a week, they create like 3 or 4 items based on Pokemon. And I didn't even find this when I was like planning for this stream. This is something I had because it was just fun. Let's see, what are the names of these guys? I keep forgetting these Pokemon, but the evolved form kind of looks like a grizzled old detective, or Donald Trump just having a bad day, which I can always stand more bad days for that asshole. But yeah, most of the items that are based off a Pokemon evolution line, the items actually evolve with the user activating it. Starting off with the Uncharp Scarf. This yellow scarf has flared ends with 2 sets of 3 points each, with a brown underside trim along the middle. While attuned to this scarf, you just get a permanent +1 to your investigation and perception rolls. Great item, and the curse isn't horrible. You just always feel hungry and have a voracious appetite. Whenever you come across any food you think is edible, you have to make a DC 9 wisdom save to not just go into an eating frenzy, which isn't bad. I mean, if you want a bonus to investigation perception, you probably have decent wisdom. Let's see. But the downside being, if you fail and you finish eating every food you can find, you pass out for 1d4 hours and gain a level of exhaustion. So maybe get some blinders on before going to any open market. Let's see. And contempt the save after a minute, and a success ends the frenzy without passing out or exhaustion, which again makes the curse not all that bad. Then the fun detail for evolving it: if you are attuned to it while you have proficiency in investigation for a month, it becomes the Argosto? I'm not sure how to pronounce that because I'm not French enough.
I think it's Argusto.
Argusto? That sounds like a nice detective name, so I can believe it. Comes up to uncommon, and actually, is there a price on the first one? Yeah, the common form is 14 gold. Uncommon becomes 135. Low for an uncommon, but I mean, it's not horrible. Let's see, this brown trench coat has yellow down the back and on the inside. The tail of the coat has 5 strips hanging from it. The collar has a triangular notch in the back. While attuned, you get +2 to investigation perception and to your passive perception. And you can go without eating for an additional number of days equal to your con modifier. So it's a nice little flavor ability, ribbon ability for not having to eat, but that's it's very fun. And of course, with evolving, the curse also evolves. Let's see, while cursed, if you do not eat anything on a day, you immediately fall asleep when you're standing as soon as the sun sets. You can only be wakened up by taking damage, and afterward must take damage or succeed a DC 13 con save for every 10 minutes unless you fall back to sleep. See, that effect just lasts till sunrise, so pretty much don't go adventuring when it's about to become nighttime.
Or just make sure you have a good lunch.
Exactly. Always have some snacks on hand. Maybe some halfling chocolate coins.
Oh, that's a perfect coat to keep some granola in the pockets.
Mm-hmm.
Just always munch a little. Yeah, I can see a detective that's always munching.
Now I'm just imagining a bunch of, like, loose granola for some reason. I'm sure you meant, like, a granola bar or, like, bag, but it's just funny.
Yeah.
It's like, was that a raisin or was that lint? Whatever. Yeah, chalk that up for another item I'm sure Beck's current character Val would love to have. See, in fact, that'd probably make her the most passively perceptive of the group, with that little bonus. See, and next, the stand-in for a good sensible gift of shoes. We have the static steps, which I just love the art for. Even though my first, at first I thought it was fancy ice skates. I certainly feel dumb now, but at least I figured it out. Alright, so some aspire to the height of fashionable expression in their clothing, but few can boast that they have shoes that spark when they walk. With each step, a small snap of electricity travels across the sole of these metal-lined shoes and crackles away harmlessly. The snap is audible to all within 30 feet, and they are extremely comfortable and increase your base movement by 10, which is nothing to sneeze at, especially if you are Tabaxi Monk. While wearing these shoes, when you move for a total of 60 feet during initiative order, gain the charge condition. While charged, that means you gain resistance to lightning as electricity arcs across your body. It only lasts for a minute, or until you expend the charge condition on one of the following properties. You gain a static strike. When you successfully hit with an attack, you can lose your charge condition to deal an extra 2d12 damage, which is really good, especially because the creature must also make a con save, DC 16, or be stunned. So you can become a pseudo-monk with this. Or a static shift. During your turn, once again losing the charge condition, to teleport to a creature to a location in 60 feet. You burst forth the new location, a flash of lightning, no save of any kind, just shove creature within 5 feet of you, 10 feet away. Very deadly next to a cliff. And because they spark up when you move a bunch, that also means they're the light up kid shoes. I think Skechers like the big one.
That's exactly what popped into my head, were those little shoes.
Which are a good Christmas gift. It's like, make your little man feel so powerful. It's like, turn off the lights, I want to step in my shoes. It's like, weird request, kid, but enjoy feeling like fucking Zeus for a couple minutes.
I remember when those shoes came out, I was working in a daycare and all of the kids loved them. At nap time, they would have their feet over the cots and just jumping up and down on their cot.
Yeah, I can imagine. Oh, man. If it was acceptable to get fucking steel toe version of these, be the coolest guy at work for me. But yeah, like I said, perfect for a non-monk, as they pretty much get a stunning strike once per combat. But yeah, unfortunately, these were the only, like, really cool shoes I saw that weren't just borderline legendary. And then, to stand in for the homemade gift, something crafted for a friend. Fittingly enough, we have Epiglottal in the chat, and this was something I made for them. I figured it'd be a nice end-of-stream discussion of just maybe like how to try and adapt stat blocks to other systems. Which I actually think will be the new thing, kinda, or how I end these little review streams. Either advice on adapting stuff from other systems, like there's a lot of stuff in Pathfinder 1 people have been adapting to 5e because they just really like 5e more, and then Pathfinder 2 came out and they already did something better. I figure other things I could do is just like make up encounters or magic items with just people in chat, because I think I've gotten enough people who actually subscribe, not subscribe, follow, who will actually pop in and it's like, hey, I want to see, I don't know, if fucking Shotgum, but legendary rank or something. We figure that out. But yeah, for I'm pretty sure I just toot my own horn about this in the Discord, Loni, but
yeah, I remember you talking about it.
Yeah, and maybe my little sudden realization is like, I more or less made this years ago for a one-shot and just forgot. But yeah, the Pride Elemental, based on Epiglottal's Twitch concept of just being a Pride Elemental from the plane of Hubris. And a kind of a art trade kind of thing, because he made a elemental version of Luci for a collab stream we did. I'm not that good at art, certainly not as good as him with his SVG type programs, so I thought, you know what, I'll make some stat blocks for you. And he wanted Powered by the Apocalypse, which I had no experience in. So I did the systems that I know well, starting with 5e, adapted what things I could with his concept of a Hubris Elemental, Pride Elemental. I pulled a lot from Tower of Babel, from the Bible. And anyone looked up what chapters make up those verses in the Bible, you'll notice I have a lot of 11:19s in here. I forget which book in there, but I know it's chapter 11, verse 19 is where the Tower of Babel story starts. So I had fun, just tried to include those wherever I could. The 11s in I just realized I put Arcane instead of Arcana for that skill. Oh, God. Genesis. Thank you, Epiglottal. Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
Genesis. I was gonna say it, but he beat me to it.
God, do you ever look back at something you made and just realize, oh, typos? I feel less smart in hindsight now. But yeah, as it goes with just making any homebrew stuff, you start with just ideas and boil them down to something that would not just kill the party immediately. Let's see, one sec. I don't... do you have any experience with DMing, Loni?
I DM'd a home game for a short amount of time. I am not a good DM. I found it to be very stressful, and I got in the mindset of me versus the players, and I couldn't get out of it.
That's fair. It's certainly not for everyone, though I'm sure you were a fine DM, stressors aside. Did you do a whole lot of, like, homebrew yourself, or you pretty much just took modules and used them?
We were playing 4th edition,
Ooh.
so there weren't very many modules. It was completely homebrew. And I'm just telling you how old I am with that, because that wasn't even the first time I played, but...
I mean, I think we've spoken in during one of our post-session discussions, like, because we know Busky's the baby of the group, because he's in college and all of us are older. But yeah, I mean, that's... Jesus, throw it out of nowhere. Yeah, DMing's not exactly the easiest, especially if you are homebrewing with less experience. Like, I knocked this out in, I think, 2 or 3 nights. And the second night was mostly just sleeping on it, coming back with a fresh eyes to go, okay, what did I do that's just too much? Like, the first version of Make Your Own Luck here, where, let's see, confidence of a pride elemental is not without evidence. When a creature within 30 feet, including themselves, makes attack roll, saving throw, or ability check, pride elemental gets to use their reaction once per turn. Just roll a d6, and then choose to either add or subtract from the result. That used to be combined with what I have is the time being now of just a number of automatic successes, but only in very specific situations. But I thought, no, I need something kind of like inspiration. Took it from, I believe it's one of the druid subclasses, has I think it's only a d3 for them. But, you know, he's just an RP guy. He's not meant to be fought in combat, even though he can take care of himself. Is visible with his various multi-attack options, especially the confidence drain, giving just the frightened condition. But yeah, this is going to look very different as compared to both the Cypher system, which I'm still learning, so this is probably also imperfect, and what I have even less experience with, of Powered by the Apocalypse, which does not have any consistent monster design, because it's more of a, I think Epiclol described it as a genre of game, rather than a specific set of rules, like 5e is.
Yeah. It really depends on which game you're playing in Powered by the Apocalypse for how they would be set up.
So yeah, so before I could even get to Powered by the Apocalypse, I had made the Cypher version, the 5e version, to kind of just... I mean, they're not going to be perfectly the same. Cypher does not have anything like that kind of inspiration or automatic success mechanic, because the Cypher system is all rolls are just made by the players. They just beat DCs, and depending on what features they have or what they use their points for can give themselves advantage, lower the DC, and all kinds of stuff like that. And like translating any language, conversions are never going to be perfect. You gotta do your best. Like, instead of the frightened condition, I had to create something called doubt, because Cypher does not have any conditions like that. So I just said, if you are inflicted with doubt, you have to just make your next attack hindered, which is just pretty much raising the DC by a total of 6. Meaning you have to expend more resources to get that to something you can actually do. And then the kind of launch debris, which, like the 5e version, whether the ranged or melee attack, there's a chance of confidence drain. But to make it a little bit more something you can work around, launch debris has it so the further away you are, if you're hit, the easier it is to overcome this doubt. But yeah, it's not easy, and it's sometimes not very rewarding doing conversions between systems. But if it's for a player, because this is the example of a homemade gift, or if you're the DM and say the system you have doesn't have a monster that one of your players really likes, do your best, because like any homemade gift at Christmas, it is the thought that counts, not the skill. If they can tell you worked your hardest to give them something that they can enjoy, I'm sure they're going to enjoy it too. But yeah, that, God, I thought I had enough items to fill 2 hours, but I guess not.
Yeah, that went by pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I thought I was actually taking my time with all the descriptions, but yeah. Because we have all this time, do you want to just talk about stuff for tomorrow's session? Seeing as you guys are still in the Feywild. Like, we can call it a recap or
I'm
anything.
actually kind of tapping out.
No worries. I know this time of year is really hard, especially on us two in the group, because just the cold wrecks us.
And Nate's been sick this week, so it's dealing with that a little. So I am going to tap out and say goodnight.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you very much for joining me, Loni, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your night.
You have a good night too, and bye, y'all.
See you tomorrow. But yeah, we've I can now go ahead and close the Discord boardroom, and I don't have to. Where is? Okay, there we go. So I can now leave the Discord call because no one else is there with me. But yeah, I guess we can just kind of like chat, or maybe I can pull up Super Auto Pets or something. And absolutely no problem writing up this stat block for you, Epic Global. It was fun, and it was one of the reasons I decided to have a kind of homemade gift item idea for this Christmas-inspired review stream. And it is definitely shaping my streams going forward for reviews next year. The reason I'm gonna like save like that back hour for just making stuff up for whoever's in the chat. Yeah, like I said, if you do something with heart, especially for a player to just give them a good time, they will enjoy it. I know Loni just stepped away, but I actually made an item for her based on Discworld. Anyone unfamiliar, it is a huge selection of books written by Terry Pratchett, set in a world that is just, instead of a sphere, it is this giant disc on the back of a just giant, it's on the back of 4 elephants, which are itself on the back of a giant turtle flying through space, hence Disc World. And like just during some sessions we talked about a same interest in those books, especially these City Watch books. And there's one in particular which has some weird curse-like thing. Let's see. I'm blanking on the actual name. I think it's something like the Traveling Dark. It's essentially a curse that was written at the with a dwarf's dying breath to get justice on the ones who got them killed. And I got really inspired by that to make an item for Lonnie's fighter Penny. And it gave a bunch of like actions or bonus actions based on what Samuel Vimes, a member of the City Watch, was able to do while under the influence of that curse. He was kind of selected as this avatar of justice that the curse used to hunt down the actual perpetrators, and it was a very fun item to make. And though she didn't get to use it too much towards the end of the campaign, because she got some much better weapons, especially for the final boss of Lycaon slash an archdevil, Levistus, it was a very rewarding session when I granted that to her. Because she got to read through and it's like, wait, why is this familiar? You did this! And it's very rewarding as a DM for those moments of the little references you making getting recognized. Ooh, yeah, my voice is starting to go, so you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and fire up some super auto pets. So let me get that set up so that I don't have to do quite as much speaking. Instead, do a bunch of gameplay.